Sports, 888-729-3776. Stephen A. Smith Show, 250-plus markets across the United States of America. Check your AM/FM listing. There is you. Obviously, I am in a very, very, very good mood. And I got news for you, buddy. I got news for you, for my brothers and sisters out there. It ain't just because today's my birthday, you know. It's because I sat back and I took notice of what transpired last night at that MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I watched those New York Jets. Jets, Jets. I watched those boys go up against America's team, those Dallas Cowboys. I watched Ezekiel Elliott rush for 105 yards. Didn't matter. I watched Dak Prescott throw for 277 yards. Didn't matter. What really, really mattered was that Sam Darnold, that star quarterback for the New York Jets, the winless New York Jets coming into yesterday's game, returned from his absence due to mononucleosis and throws 23 for 32 for 338 yards, including 2 touchdowns, 92-yard touchdown pass to Robbie Anderson. And the New York Jets ain't winless anymore. 24-22 winners over those Dallas Cowboys, who have now suffered their third straight loss. And I tell you something right now. If I'm any of you folks out there, or you cowboy lovers across the world, gotta tell you something. You folks are a little bit of trouble there. Things ain't too pleasant for you right now. Started off the year 3-0. Started off the year with everybody talking about how, hey, we gonna compete for that Super Bowl. Foregone conclusion that you're gonna win the NFC East. Matter of fact, less than 3 weeks ago, it was the Philadelphia Eagles that walked into Lambeau Field on a Thursday night in Green Bay, Wisconsin, talking about how it was a must-win situation. And gosh darn it, they were right. They were right. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If the Eagles had lost that game and the Dallas Cowboys had won that Sunday matchup against those New Orleans Saints without Drew Brees, then the Dallas Cowboys would have been a full 3 games up on those Philadelphia Eagles for first place in the NFC East, and it would have been a foregone conclusion that those Dallas Cowboys were going back to the playoffs courtesy of winning that NFC East. But things don't change, haven't they? Things don't change. Because now we're looking at those Dallas Cowboys, and they're measly old 3-3. Losers of 3 straight. 2 New Orleans. Okay? We know they lost to the Jets yesterday. We know they lost last week. And in the meantime, Dak Prescott has not looked impressive. Jason Witten looked like he's on the cusp of getting fired. That Jerry Jones, I just don't know how much more of this he can take. By the way, happy birthday to my buddy Jerry Jones. Contrary to what you might believe, I takes no pleasure in going after those Dallas Cowboys like this. Because I happen to like that man, Jerry Jones. His birthday was the day before mine. We Libra buddies. I love me some Jerry Jones. And damn it, that guy Stephen Jones, he ain't a bad dude either. It's you Cowboy fans that I can't stand. It's you Cowboy fans that get on my last nerves. It's you Cowboy fans that usually make me want to throw up. And as I sit here now, appearing as if I'm wallowing in the misery of the Dallas Cowboys. It's not Jerry Jones. That's my buddy. It's not his son, Stephen Jones. We're going to go out for a drink someday soon. It's going to be on me. What it's really about is those sickening, disgusting, nauseating Cowboy fans out there. And I got to tell you something, when I put on this hat and you hear my drawl as I talk about y'all, I have to admit, it gives me great pleasure. There is a downside to all of this. And that is this: your frustration, your misery, your dissipated level of hope is in October. I prefer it to hit y'all around Christmas time. I prefer that y'all are miserable right around that time when it's time to open those presents. And it's time to say Merry, Merry Christmas to you all. That's when I usually like that misery hitting you. So I'm a bit upset that the misery has arrived a bit prematurely. Because what that indicates is either hope will come on down the pike, or it will eradicate or evaporate so quickly that you're able to recover to have a good Christmas and a happy New Year. See where I'm thinking? When I look at the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, here's what I say in all seriousness. Jason Garrett's got to go. He's just not that good of a coach. Now, there are people out there that's going to protect him, and they're going to talk about how he knows more about football than y'all realize. My response is, what about results? What about results? You got a 4th and 2 at the 7-yard line in the second quarter. You know you're not running the football well. Randall Cobb and Amari Cooper are out of the lineup due to injury. You can't pass the ball that great. You ain't running the football that effectively. One would think, let me get these 3 points while I can. And what did Jason Garrett do? Go for it on a 4th and 2 with one of the most predictable plays one could imagine. You don't score. You end up empty-handed. You hand the momentum to the New York Jets. And then on top of all of that, you end up losing the game by 2 points when you could have won it by 1 because you would have had the 3 points earlier in the game. On that ensuing play, not only did Jason Garrett call the wrong or, go for it wrongly and have Kellen Moore run the wrong play, but then on the very next play where the Jets had it, Sam Darnold connects with Robbie Anderson, who juked the woozy on that double move for a 92-yard touchdown catch. It was something special to behold, I must say. I must say that. It was something special. Because it handed the momentum to the winless New York Jets. Actually made them look like a football team. Actually made Adam Gase look like he could coach a little bit himself. By the way, just as an aside, that boy needs a shave. I just want to say that. You ain't got no business being on the sideline looking like that. There's barbers everywhere, Adam Gase. There's barbers everywhere in New York City. Find one, please. Find one, please. But I digress. Because the New York Jets are winners on this day. They did find a way to get it done. And as a result, they're no longer winless. And the Dallas Cowboys are 3-3, walking pieces of mediocrity, looking like a black cat running around that franchise. Where y'all hear that before? Where y'all hear that before? You know where you heard it before. Because I've been telling you. And so now here we are, 3-3. If you're Dak Prescott, things ain't looking too kind for you right now. Making $2 million while other people making $30+ million at the quarterback position because you determined to not sign a deal unless it allows you to set the market because you want to be the highest paid quarterback in football, when in fact you've done nothing to prove that you deserve to be the highest paid quarterback in football. So rather than fret over $35, $36, $37 million, why don't you accept the 33 and be on your merry way? Because the way things are looking for the Dallas Cowboys right now, if this continues, Jerry Jones is just elevating his level of leverage. And you know this man knows leverage. You Dak Prescott, you got 2 tackles out, I get that. level of protection that you're normally accustomed to. It ain't existing right now. I get that. Running game compromised because of it. I get that. But the bottom line is you're right now in the throes of contract negotiation. And if you're in the throes of a contract negotiations and you don't know when those dudes are going to be back, and meanwhile, you're putting up one stinker after another, that's like 3 weeks of count now. Somebody better wake Dak Prescott up and say, excuse me, let me get this money while I can get this money. And maybe it ain't going to set the market. And maybe it's only going to be 33 instead of 35. Much better than 2. Much better than 2. $2 million. And you going to miss out on 33 because you want an additional 2? Well, how smart is that? Somebody better mosey on down. Dak Prescott let him know. You dealing with a real Texan right there in that Jerry Jones. Might have went to school in Arkansas. Might have had those Arkansas roots. But this man knows a thing or two about negotiations now. He's a poker player. He loved Kenny Rogers growing up. You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. Y'all didn't think old Stevie A knew that, did y'all? Yes, I do know a little country music. Yes, I do. And I'm here to tell you something right now. Dallas Cowboys in a world of trouble because when you look at the NFC conference, first of all, the Giants just a game back. They're lucky that the Eagles can't play any damn defense right now. Green Bay, Chicago, and Detroit and Minnesota are formidable enough to be threats. So is Carolina and New Orleans. By the way, that Christian McCaffrey might be the league MVP right now. He's been spectacular. And then, of course, out west, the San Francisco 49ers have creeped up into the picture. They're an undefeated bunch, one of only 2 teams undefeated in the National Football League. Seattle's no joke. Off to their best start since 2013 with a 5-1 record. The reigning NFC champion, Los Angeles Rams, look completely lost without Todd Gurley, but they're still 3-3. That's the same record as the Cowboys and the Eagles. Somebody better get it together. Somebody better get it together. 888-SAY-ESPN, that's 888-729-3776. Let me get to something else right here. Because as we talk about these Cowboys, let me tell you what, let me give some Cowboy fans out there the good news. Philadelphia Eagles stink. Now, I don't mean collectively. I mean, when you look at the Carson Wentz, I think he's getting too much of a bad rap. I think not having Deshaun Jackson doesn't help. I think Nelson Aguilar and Alshon Jeffrey look like they're running in mud doesn't help. I think connecting with Zach Ertz, trying to target him 9 times but only connected 4 times, that don't help matters. I get it all. But that damn defense of the Philadelphia Eagles will make you want to cry. They can't defend anything. That secondary is awful. Rasul Douglas, Sidney Jones, why don't you just give Jeffrey Lurie his money back? Your job is to be a corner. Stephon Diggs made you look helpless. It was absolutely positively embarrassing, the level of abuse that Stephon Diggs put on Rasul Douglas. It was bad. It was embarrassing. And that's why the Minnesota Vikings won this game yesterday. Because the Eagles were instantly in a hole because they don't have corners. Boy, did they miss Jalen Mills. Hell, they missed Darby. It was just that bad. Just very, very, very embarrassing. This is not about Carson Wentz. This is about the personnel that Peterson and Howie Roseman have around them. This is about a secondary that can't defend the pass and a defensive line that can't pass rush. So the Philadelphia Eagles and their poorest tendencies have them in this hole. And for Doug Peterson walking around guaranteeing you're going to beat the Cowboys next week, how can you guarantee anything when you can't stop anybody. It's pretty damn bad. It really is. You talk about a big game next week. Those Dallas Cowboys versus those Philadelphia Eagles. That's a pretty damn big game next week. It really is. And even with the Giants come crashing back down to earth with Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, having lost 2 straight, they still only a game out. Imagine when they get Saquon Barkley back. So there's a lot of stuff going on, percolating to keep our eyes on. And we will right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. 888-SAY-ESPN is always the number to call up. That's 888-729-3776. Another team to keep your eyes on, those Carolina Panthers. But for a different reason than you might imagine. Cam Newton. See, Cam Newton been out for a while with that foot injury. Kyle Allen has filled in. Ever since he has filled in, Panthers haven't lost. And because they haven't lost, and that defense is playing well, and the offense seems to be vibing around them, you got people out there asking that question. Well, what happens to Cam once he comes back healthy? Now, let me be the first to say, Kyle Allen ain't no damn Cam Newton when Cam Newton is healthy. Cam Newton is something special. But the reality is, Cam Newton hasn't been special in a while. That shoulder injury, that's a big deal. And now it's a foot injury. So one situation compromises your ability to throw, and the other situation compromises your ability to run. So as a result of it, we got to look at Cam Newton and say, there's a problem in paradise. There's really a problem. And I'm here to tell you right now, if you're the Carolina Panthers, the way you've been looking and the way you've been winning, even if Cam Newton's ready to come back, I don't know if you could just reinsert him. I really don't know if you could do that. Because they're winning without you. I really don't know if you could do that. 888-SAY-ESPN, that's 888-729-3776. I love Cam Newton. Tremendous athlete. As far as I'm concerned, a winner. I ain't casting no aspersions on him. I'm just saying that you got to go with the hot hand. In an NFL season, this ain't basketball, 82 games. Hockey, 82 games. Baseball, 162 games. This football. It's 16 games. It's 16 games. And if you Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers, I would say to you that what you got to take into consideration is how the team is flowing, considering the minimal amount of games that you have available to you. That would be my position. That's a position I think everybody should adopt. 888-SAY-ESPN, it's 888-729-3776. It's just the right thing to do. We're going to call it like we see it or not. That's just the way I'm looking at things. By the way, as an aside, I've got the sniffles. I'm feeling good, but I got the sniffles. That's number one. You know, the other thing is I'm pretty disgusted about one thing, and that is the fact that Carlos Correa smacked the game-winning home run in the 11th to lift the Houston Astros over the New York Yankees. To even up the series 1-1, keeping things alive. First pitch he faced in the bottom of the 11th. That damn J.A. Happ. I'm just going to say this. I never really liked Happ. I'm not a believer in him. Not even a little bit. I didn't even like the fact that he was in the game. I knew the minute he was in that there's something bad was going to happen. I've never been a fan of J.A. Happ. Not as a winner. I don't know why I keep saying J.A. It's J. Happ. But I've never been a fan. Ever. And I knew when I saw him that the Yankees were going to lose this game. And what an opportunity, because Verlander was on the hill, and he still managed to get 2 runs, and it was still tied 2-2 after the 9th inning. And I said, you get this one. All you got to worry about is Jared Cole, because God, is he something to be worried about. And they couldn't pull this one out. Series tied 1-1. Yankees got their work cut out for them. I'm not giving up on them, but damn it, I don't want to see J-Hap. I just don't. Series tied 1-1 after Carlos Correa's walk-off home run in the 11th. 888-SAY ESPN is 888-729-3776. Former Yankee, now an MLB analyst extraordinaire for the family, Mark Teixeira, will be on with us once we come back from commercial break. Lots of stuff to get into, plus the NFL. Don't touch that dial. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. That was Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less, only at Walmart. By the way, head to the Home Depot to find guaranteed lowest prices on top brand name appliances.